Oh, are we really at the penalty stage? Where we're going to start making sure that anyone we politically disagree with can't be heard anywhere in the new public square, social media? Listen to this former executive, Alex Stamos. I believe it's CNN, right, Paula? I think this is with Mr. Potato Head again, the guy who used to fetch coffee at CNN, who somehow found himself on the air. Here's Potato Head Stelter nodding in approval as a former Facebook executive in the security space recommends that, yes, we start changing our algorithms to make sure like people we disagree with aren't heard. And Potato Head's all over because that's what he does. Check this out.
Can you? Is that possible? Seems like that's an open question.
It's hard. I mean, I think we got to do a couple things. One, there needs to be an intentional work by the social media companies collaborating together to work on violent extremism in the same way they worked on ISIS. When I started at Facebook in 2015, the number one challenge from a content perspective was the abuse of social media by the Islamic State. And there was a collaboration between the tech companies and between the tech companies and law enforcement to make it impossible for them to use the internet to recruit and radicalize mostly young Muslim men at the time around the world. Now we're talking about domestic audience in the United States. And the challenge is going to be partially that, ISIS did not have a domestic constituency in the United States Congress. But there is over half of the Republicans in Congress voted to overturn the election. And there will be a continual political pressure on the companies to not take it seriously. So I think first you have to focus on those violent extremists, and those companies have to be brave in that way. And second, we have to turn down the capability of these conservative influencers to reach these huge audiences. There are people on YouTube, for example, that have a larger audience than daytime CNN. And they are extremely radical and pushing extremely radical views. And so it's up to the Facebooks and YouTubes in particular to think about whether or not they want to be effectively cable networks for disinformation. And then we're going to have to figure out the OANN and Newsmax problem. That these companies have freedom of speech, but I'm not sure we need Verizon, AT&T, Comcast, and such to be bringing them into tens of millions of homes. This is allowing people to seek out information if they really want to, but not pushing it into their faces, I think is where we're going to have to go here.
Allow people to seek out information. Just don't let them find it. That's an actual quote by this colossal tool bag, Alex Stamos. And you see Potato Head? Yeah. Mr. Potato Head approves. You think this is a joke? CNN and Potato Head. The network, Darcy, another one, who for 4 years told you the PP tape hoax was real, who insisted that Mike Flynn somehow was in some conspiracy with Putin to take down Trump, who insisted Trump was in a conspiracy with Putin to take down America. They lied to you for 4 years. They got prizes for it. They're daring to talk about misinformation. And notice the trick. Did you catch the trick, Mr. Stamos here? Did you catch the trick he pulls? You might have heard it in the montage in the beginning, too. And the montage for the surveillance with Jeremy Bash. Not the montage, what I opened up with, the clip of Jeremy Bash on MSNBC. Did you notice how the comparisons start? Ultra-nationalists and white nationalists. And then it's down to like conservative influencers are like ISIS. This guy, Alex Stamos, this colossal toolbox, just said in one incoherent thought, comparing ISIS to conservative influencers. And nobody has any issue with it at all on CNN. Not only that, Potato Head nods in approval because he's a smart, stupid person. You compare. I was a Secret Service agent, you buffoon. What the hell were you doing? What was Potato Head doing? When I was protecting Barack Obama, this imbecile was fetching coffee. And he's nodding in approval as one of his dopey guests compares conservative influencers who have a bigger audience in daytime CNN, like me, comparing us to ISIS. I was the one calling out any political violence and normalization of it as Potato Head and their network were like, BLM Antifa, don't worry, folks, it's all peaceful. The city's burning down peacefully. And we're listening to these buffoons and the exposingleftist.com doofus, Oliver Darcy. These are the serious people?
You just heard Dan Bongino.